Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to be doing a drawing session, so grab your sketchbook, maybe grab a comforting drink, and join along with me. So today I'm going to be drawing this character, look, Wallace from Wallace and Gromit, but today I'm going to be drawing Lady Riju from Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I absolutely adore like all of the different character designs in Tears of the Kingdom, but especially the Gerudo ladies, especially Riju and Urbosa. I think in one of my older sketchbooks I drew Urbosa about 20 times. That's just how much I love her character design. And also because I'm kind of art blocked, so I need something to draw that I don't really need to think about. I don't need to think about character design. I don't need to think about what the character's face looks like, if it's character at all. And so, reverting back to what you love, in my case it's Legend of Zelda and Lord of the Rings. I make a lot of fan art of those two. Yeah, fan art is like a nice pillow for when art block hits. But yeah, I find making fan art just so helpful, or just simply copying what other artists are making. Obviously I'm not gonna take credit for the reiteration of what I'm making, but I find it very helpful for when I need just something to get out of that slump and get creative again. I find that when I'm art blocked, the best thing I can really do is just step away from it for a second, because sometimes I feel overwhelmed and I'm just sort of forcing myself to make art when I know that nothing good will come out of that session. And I've been stuck in that way too often, but as Ursula from Kiki's Delivery Service says, sometimes you just need to step away from it, don't even think about it, about making anything, and then you'll feel more like yourself and you'll be making art again. That's just me paraphrasing, but more or less that's the gist of it. And I think it's really helpful, but the thing is, I also want to be consistent in making content for YouTube, so it's kind of hard to just step away. But hopefully I will get out of this funk and get back to making art. I don't know, today I haven't made anything and I don't feel the urge to make anything, the itch if you will, which is completely fine, If I don't feel like making it, then I'll just step away for a day or two, and then I'm sure it'll come back. And even if it doesn't, even if it takes a week or however long, I don't think I've ever gone a week without drawing. That's actually quite impressive. But yeah, usually it takes about a day or two before I feel more like myself and I get back into drawing. I finished the line art for Lady Riju. The paper freaking crumpled while I was erasing and that pissed me off so bad, but it's fine. The next day I just continued it, so it wasn't as crumpled. And I took my Ohuhu markers as always and my polychromos pencils to make, little details. And I realized that the marker that I used for her skin is actually a little darker than expected, because I looked at the marker in my swatch and it was a little lighter, so I was like, okay, that makes sense for Lady Riju. But then I started coloring and I was like, oh no, it's a little darker. It's fine. I think it turned out well in the end. But yeah, going back to the whole art block thing, I think sometimes it just hits in the sense of I can't draw characters, I can't draw people, and anything I make is sort of either repetitive or it just doesn't look right in my eyes. And sometimes I just need to draw other things. Maybe that's literally just it, or I just need to switch medium. But I've tried that. I tried to draw animals didn't really look right. I tried to draw fish and that didn't work. That usually works, but it didn't. And I'm not really in the mood to paint, so I think what I just need to do is read a book. Actually, I've been reading Eldest by Christopher Paolini, and I read that in a week and I absolutely adored it. I'm gonna start Brisinger today, and I'm sure I'm gonna love that. I'm reading it half audiobook, half physically. I've had it actually on my shelves for about 7 years now, and it's the perfect book for the moment. It's been raining so much lately. I don't think you can hear it right now, but I'm right by my window and it's raining so much. I don't think it's ever stopped in the past 4 days, which is shocking because, you know, where I live we don't really experience that much rain. But yeah, anyways, I finished the rest of the drawing off camera because I was kind of worried about how the skin tone looked, but it turned out in the end. Sometimes you just need to do it off camera. And then I returned the next day to start coloring it with colored pencils. I actually really want to get back into playing Tears of the Kingdom because I left it halfway, and you know, it's been almost 2 years since the game released. I bought it the hour it released. Like, so, you know, I really enjoyed it. I don't know why I didn't continue. I guess I was so overwhelmed by how vast the world is, because now not only do you have all of Hyrule to explore, but you also have the underground and the islands in the sky, which it's funny how much it was overhyped, the sky, but then it's mostly the underground that has so much to explore. Sorry if these voiceovers are kind of all over the place and I'm using filler words every now and again. I actually didn't script for this video. I wanted to try something different and be like, okay, I'm not gonna script, because I feel like sometimes it sounds really robotic the way I speak if I'm reading off a script. No matter how, you know, personal the topic may be or how honest I'm being, it just still feels robotic in a way. So let me know how this audio is, and I'm sorry if I use a bunch of filler words or I take long breaks. I try not to. I really tried to get the right shading for her armor because, you know, armor has a really specific look to it that you want to imitate, and if it doesn't look like, if you don't shade it right, it doesn't actually look like armor. Let me know how this turned out. I don't really love it. I was kind of on the fence with it. It kind of looks like armor but kind of doesn't, especially the upper body armor, if you can really call it armor. It's just a bra. But I don't think that really looked like armor, but the bottom part does. You know, I realized something, and that a lot of artists that do voiceovers over their art have a tendency to make very self-deprecating commentary on what they're drawing and sort of downplay the quality of their work, and I don't want to fall into that trap. I think, you know, it's good to be critical, you know, that's the only way you'll learn, but I think it's pointless to look back on what you've already done and nitpick everything. There's really no point. You can only accept it and, you know, improve, but being self-deprecating isn't gonna really help it, and I don't want to be that kind of artist. You know, if I don't make the armor look how I wanted. That's it, that's done. I can go practice now if I really want it to look nice, but yeah, I guess I want to let you all know that even if you aren't really proud of something you've done recently or 2 months ago, it's fine. You can always improve. There's no need to nitpick, especially online, especially to an audience that will watch it. You don't want to look self-deprecating. That's not a nice quality to have, I don't think. I'm sorry if this wasn't very coherent. I'm trying to be as coherent as possible in my stream of thoughts as they come about art block and all of that stuff. Honestly, I think for a lot of 2024 and now creeping into 2025, my art block has been quite consistent. And just in the way that I can draw, it's just nothing I draw feels creative enough. I have brought myself out of this. For a few moments I feel like myself just making art and it feels just so right, but eventually I get back into my slump. I think it's a result of being too critical and aware of what's going on. Maybe I just need to go with the flow and not overthink or be too harsh on myself, and eventually that'll allow my creative side to shine through and be in that state of play where really beautiful things can come out of a creative session. At this point, I feel like the colored pencils really bring together the drawing. It was looking so flat, but once again, trusting the process is the way to go. Let me know what you do when art block hits, because for me right now it's just not drawing but still looking at art books and consuming media, and being creative in other ways is really helpful. I've been really leaning into music, that's a fun creative outlet, and Animal Crossing. Playing the game and getting to decorate my island feels really therapeutic. Since the game release, I've played the game for 420 hours or more. I'm surprised that number hasn't budged, considering how much I've been playing as of late. But I love Animal Crossing. My island is nowhere near finished. There are still so many patches of land where it's just a hot mess. There are a bunch of flowers and then weeds growing, and I don't really know what to do with it. And terraforming is really hard for me. I don't know. It's never been my strong suit, and there's just so many objects in the game to collect that it feels overwhelming. I guess in the same way as Tears of the Kingdom, there's so much to do, so much to see, so much to explore, and everything that it's overwhelming and it kind of puts you off sometimes. Maybe we need to bring back simple games. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure there are simpler games out there. I'm just playing really open world games and really complex games like Tears of the Kingdom and Animal Crossing. Looking back at the recordings of this video, I'm just thinking about how I used to love recording myself drawing, even when I was like 11, and that's so cool to see now how that's translated to making YouTube videos, because at first I just used to record it on my iPad mini when I was little, and then it was on Musical.ly instead of making lip sync videos because I wasn't comfortable showing my face, and then it was on TikTok, and now I've clearly, and I've mentioned this before, I don't use TikTok anymore. I don't even have the app, but now it's turned into making long form content and making these videos, and I don't want to let my younger self down by not putting out quality content like she would have wanted to. So I keep needing to remind myself that. Because even when a goal is important to you, you sometimes still need to be reminded of why it's important to you and why you chose to pursue that in the first place. This is so random, but it just occurred to me like how much I cared about making content and making videos of me drawing, and I hope these inspire at least one person because then it'll feel really worth it. But yeah, here is how Lady Riju turned out. I think it turned out pretty good, honestly. And now I'm moving on to the background. Sometimes I just do not do the backgrounds at all because I just feel too lazy to do it by the time I'm done with the character. Maybe I put too much effort into the character so that by the time that I get to the background, I just don't feel like doing it anymore. But, you know, the background was pretty simple. There was a tower in the background, but I could not be, at this point, I could not be asked to do it. I'm sorry. So I just did pretty simple mountains, then there were trees, and of course the sky. And I just added some details with colored pencils for the little clouds and stuff, and added some dimension, this and that. Honestly, mountains are really fun to do, even with alcohol markers. And this is how the drawing turned out. I love how vibrant it looks. Maybe there should have been a better color balance between Lady Riju and her background, but still, it turned out pretty cool. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye bye!